start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Visitors' comments? Do we have any visitors here? Want to make comments?
Hi.
Okay. New business. Great. Discussion, funding for the police vehicle. That's not why you're here?
Well, I'm here if there's questions, but it's
That's-
finance.
I guess that's why I'm here. Finance committee reviewed it. USDA is offering a grant for $22,450. The balance should be somewhere around $43,557, which the town has to put out. Our suggestion was to get a 4 or 5 year loan and pay it back from capital stabilization, which would be, we're at $50,000 balance there right now, and we're hoping to put $50,000 per year. So in 4 years, when that would be paid off, we'd have plenty of money for the other capital purchases that were coming up.
Do you think this finance committee suggests this is a better way to go than the grant?
Yeah, well, the grant is $23,450. We have to match 66%.
Right, it's a
43,000.
And you're suggesting we borrow that money?
We would suggest that you borrow that money and pay it off over 4 years. And Nicole talked about maybe even asking USDA if they'd loan us that.
So I did look into it, and this community facilities grant is basically a grant for a shovel-ready project that's not construction, right? So that's why they're like, if you were putting money aside, if you were doing anything this year, we can give you 35%. So this would end by September 30th of this year. The funding is gone for this project. It has to be paid in full. So we have to have the title
Right.
to have, so if we're borrowing money,
We won't have the title.
we won't,
You have to have the title?
yeah, we
Well,
have to,
that
we
was
have
our
to own the
recommendation.
vehicle.
Since we don't have a quorum here
Yeah,
with the finance committee, our recommendation stands from our last meeting,
Yeah.
and you'll have to decide how better to handle that then. Unfortunately, we don't.
That's too bad.
right, so if we went and borrowed, it would just be, we would be paying that off, annually of $10,000 to $12,000, and so there's the option, we either don't go with the grant and we can borrow
The full
$70,000,
amount, yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
or,
Or we go with the grant and we borrow the
with the grant,
remainder?
we don't
Well,
borrow
we
the
can't
remainder.
borrow, because it
We
needs
use-
to be paid by September.
So we use our own money?
And so, I know you can't vote on it, obviously, but there is free cash to use,
Let me go get the
or,
balances, okay,
Right.
because I printed them out and I left them on the printer.
We can finance it. We could take up the election room right now. Those all must have happened.
you wanna pass your hat around, Mark?
But you got, yeah, I'll try. No, you can't, we have to take the title, so if we get the loan.
One of the
Yeah,
parameters
yeah.
of the grant is
Oh,
to-
anyway, for the, I got it, for the
Yeah.
grant, yeah.
Yeah, the grant,
Sorry, they wait it down.
So we started this because of the availability of the grant?
that's right.
Correct.
Could someone repeat the dollar amount?
Sure, here's
I didn't recognize
So
that
it's
what was on the warrant.
it's a $67,000 vehicle. 35%, I believe, is $23,450. The loan, or the balance which we have to come up is $43,557.
I think your loan, that was before, because we've been
Before inflation,
working,
yeah.
we've been working on this for 7 months. Do you have the
I
exact?
think I have the
I just-
70,391.
What was that?
70,391.
That's high.
We're darn close then.
Good. I have the
Is
estimate
it these two numbers on here, the 46,940
Yeah, for the 20.
and the 20?
Yeah,
What was on the warrant though, wasn't it?
It just says a
hasn't
sum of
gone up
money,
all yet.
treasure, from the treasury.
There wouldn't be any
This
numbers
is-
on the
this is-
warrant.
Not yet, not
So
till
it'd
the
be
last day.
$67,001.65 is the total.
That's what I just
Say
said.
again, please.
$67.
Could you say that again?
$67,001.65.
Oh,
I
two.
put the pennies off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Times 0.35.
And we really need this cruiser?
Yeah, so 23,451.
This is what we owe.
What's that?
We really need the cruiser?
We do. This is replacing a 2016 with 130,000 miles on it. So we've gotten our money. We are out of cycle by 1 year as it is. So we knew the town is struggling. We would not be asking for it if we didn't need it.
And capital planning had already forwarded it on.
Yeah,
And,
agreed.
and the finance committee voted to, recognize it. It was on the capital planning list anyhow, so.
Right.
The opportunity for the 23,450 or whatever it is, grant, is probably an opportunity we don't want to miss.
So then we're looking at taking out of either stabilization or capital stabilization for the remainder if we can't borrow.
Does finance have a suggestion on where to take the money?
It was gonna be capital stabilization, but in the form of paying off the loan, so we'd be paying interest on it, so, we can't, without a quorum, we can't make a change to our recommendation.
Right.
You guys will have to take that on.
We keep trying to consistently put money into stabilization.
Yep.
That was a.
So if we took it out of here, you're gonna be left with about $20,000.
That's what I mean, we just,
If you took it
we're trying
all,
not to go backwards if we can, but.
but if you took $12,000 a year for 4 years.
So we can't borrow, it doesn't sound like
I
we
understand,
can borrow.
I understand.
So I understand,
The
and
logic
that,
we-
yes,
yeah.
and I would have agreed with that.
Yeah.
But if we have to own it, if we have to have that title
Oh,
in
guys,
hand.
I have the wrong. Free, oh yeah, free cash, our free cash was certified, so it's at
Right.
161. Snow and ice is about 71. So there's about 90 in free cash right now, left over once we pay off snow and ice.
So,
And then what they're gonna do,
so we
what
could take
we're
it
gonna-
out of that,
and then,
and the remainder could
the
go
remainder you
into
can
capital
start putting in
stabilization.
stabilizations.
If we don't get any more snowstorms.
Right, this is true. Legit.
Mm-hmm.
Every major snowstorm costs us somewhere around $10,000.
And miners don't cost that much
Yeah.
less.
Yeah, like 5.
Well, how close would we be if we went this route? We'd still have some
We
in the
would,
kitty for snow and ice if necessary.
so this 161, she said right now in
Yeah.
free cash. In 71,000 over,
So we'd have
like
90.
about 90. And if we took 43 out of it, you know, the remainder could go back into capital stabilization at town meeting. So you're still working on building that fund.
Okay.
Either way, whether we take it out of capital stabilization or free cash, it's doing the same thing. Yeah,
Well, yeah, right. Exactly.
you know.
Well,
I think
Yes,
we have a
sir.
quorum now.
So thank you. The warrant article for the special meeting coming up, a couple things on a different subject and on Creamery Road or something. But this is one of them, and it indicates over 100,000. Is the idea that it will be able to be amended to these actual amounts at the, before the meeting? After the meeting?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the language just says transfer from available funds in the treasury.
There's numbers on it.
30% numbers probably.
It's total like 105 or something.
I don't have it in front of me, it's taking sure I get it.
Can I get a motion?
I'm not so sure what we're moving.
Just so where to fund the, I would make a motion to fund the cruiser from free cash.
Second that.
Discussion?
I have a question. I emailed Nicole earlier today and mentioned the ARPA funds and what's been allocated and where and what's been spent and what hasn't. And that's an option too. as far as you take what, you've allocated X amount of dollars for one thing, and let's say you don't really need it, but you do really need a cop car. And you can reallocate those funds to cover that.
We'd still have to fund what we bought though. That would still have to come from somewhere.
Well, it would come from
Previous
this. This is money we've
purposes.
received from the government already.
You're talking about ARPA expense?
Yeah,
I
And
don't
we-
believe there's much of a balance.
No.
There isn't.
Yeah.
well,
There's a couple $1,000s and things that haven't been invoiced yet or spent.
yeah,
So that balance is kind of a wild card right now. I certainly wouldn't want to, until we know everything on that, until everything's been paid, I don't know that that's
Okay.
an option.
well, you should look into and see what you've spent to date and what you've allocated, so you actually know.
We do, but some things haven't been paid yet. So until those final invoices come in, some things have come in a little bit lower,
Mm-hmm.
and some things actually came in a little bit higher, and we had to, reallocate them.
I'm just suggesting, that's all.
Thank you.
Yep.
If there is any money left, I mean, there's 100 places to put it, right, at the end, before
Yeah.
it has to be spent in FY '25.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. We have an appointment, Matthew Borelli, Assistant Superintendent, Highway, I assume.
Yes.
It's good to get somebody else working with him, Marty.
Yeah, I think his application's in here.
He's worked for us before.
He has.
He left on his own free will, he didn't get.
Yeah.
Yep. I would make a motion to appoint Matthew Borelli to the Assistant Superintendent for the Highway Department, based on Marty's recommendation at $28 an hour, pending all, pre-employment query checks.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Discussion and/or vote on a ballot question for annual election. It seems, what? Oh, I skipped one.
No, it's okay.
Creamery Road. You can
We'll do
go out of
this,
order.
we'll go
Do
out.
whatever you want.
Right, right. So, the idea is that we put a ballot question before the town at the next election. It has to be very simple, no narrative, no explanations. This was brought up by a citizen, and it's actually something I did myself back in the old days, the last time we went around. So what it is a non-binding question, and it's just a chance to take the pulse of the town. So, I believe we have the sentence here.
Yes, I'm just writing it down because, hopefully you can read my writing.
Shall the town consider reopening and expanding the former landfill located at Patrol Hollow Road? So it's a yes or no question. This is the administrator and the town clerk came up with that sentence, and there it is. So we have to vote on this. Kelly has to recuse herself per suggestion of town council. So
This is a
I'm-
ballot question.
this is a ballot
This
question.
is for the ballot.
Yeah. So when people, no, not town meeting.
Not town meeting, the annual election.
Right. So on the 4th of May, when you come in to vote for officers and such of the town, this would be before us if we decide to do this. And I'm going to guess that some of you have something to say. So, ma'am?
Gary, would you like to go first? Sure. I actually think this is not a good idea because the answer we will get is the answer based on people's gut opinions, and gut feelings and without any chance to do any sort of education, to have this question even before we have a public hearing really doesn't get the pulse of anything other than people's ignorance about the project. So I think it would confuse voters, and I think it's actually not a very good idea to do it at this time.
Thank you.
Our next state
her name.
Sorry.
Just
Could you state your name and address?
I'm sorry, Lisa Cohen, 183 Mechanic Street.
Thank you.
Judy Corsi, Group Corsi. I think it's premature. So far, we've pretty much been inundated by TikToks and everything else by Casella on how wonderful and sustainable this is for the town. And 40% of this population in Hardwick was not around in 2007, so they didn't even realize that we had, you know, seagull issues and rat issues and smell issues and all this stuff. But they also think, well, maybe this is just expanding that little thing up the street and we could get free garbage. There's not been any education at this point in time. I don't see any benefit to putting this in front of the town where there's nothing to vote on. The planning board hasn't had anything to put in place yet. There's nothing to vote on. So why would we put this in front of people who have had no opportunity to hear about this whole thing except for misinformation from Casella, which inundates my emails every single day and my mail in my post office box in Hardwick with absolutely no facts. So I think this is not a good time to do it. I'm not saying we shouldn't do it at some time in the future, but this is, I personally feel this is not the right time to put it in front of the people when they have absolutely no idea what we're talking about. And it could be 75% because they see sustainable Hardwick and they're top of their TikToks. And we all know what TikTok people do. But the facts are not out there, and I think it's premature. I just think we should wait and let the town hear what this is all about, get the Board of Selectmen's questions out there, the planning board's questions out there, get the people's questions out there, get the facts out there, then put it out there. Otherwise, I see absolutely no benefit, except it's going to solidify a thought that the Board of Selectmen now believe there's something to vote on. And there's nothing to vote on, even if it's non-binding. People don't know what non-binding means. They just think it's a vote. And I just don't think it's time. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Meg Hyatt, 198 Charity Hill Road, and I would just like to say that I concur with the points that Judy and Lisa have made regarding that we don't go forward with this non-binding vote at this time.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Bill Cole. Shall we consider reopening and expanding the landfill? We have to. We are considering that, in essence. The proposals have been given to the select board and then passed on to the planning board. As you well know, we are going soon to be scheduling hearings as required by law, and that's exactly what will be considered, is the zoning that would enable the reopening and expansion of it. The hearings will give both sides everything to talk about and lead to a binding vote on the subject of the rezoning, obviously. So that it's already in the works. I think that there will be a vote soon, as required by law, and I think it probably would be distracting, to have something else in the meantime without even the benefit of people hearing, all the opinions and facts on both sides.
Thank you. Ma'am?
Casella hasn't even told us what route the trucks will take to get in here. And so people don't know if they're the ones who are going to suffer, or they may think that they're one of the ones who aren't going to suffer.
That's correct. Yes, sir.
Just curious what we would do with the information.
Well, I think I didn't bring it up this time, but last time and this time you could look at it as a chance to see, maybe there's 80% that would say no, and then maybe Casella would pack up their tent and go away. Or maybe it would be 70% in favor, and then people who are organizing against this would have a chance to imagine convincing other people. So I think it's information. I think it would be valuable, but it certainly would stir things up, and I don't know if people are so dull as I've heard suggested, but truly I saw a lot of people coming in for the primary wondering if they were voting for the dump, so
I'd have to say, hearing that, then I think, Bill,
excuse me?
I think hearing that, what you think you might do with it or how it might land, then I think Bill's view is probably the strongest of what I've heard, that it preempts a process that's already in place that has this as a component. But that process gives an opportunity for more information sharing, where this would be absent.
Yep, well, that's true. Finally, it comes down to a vote, of all the people in the town that turn out to vote, so, yeah. Anybody else?
Honestly, I think it's just gonna stir up a lot of stuff. Let the planning board let it do its route. Like I said, I would not be in favor of doing this.
Well, then I won't even make a motion. Okay, that's that. Thanks. Other new business. We got to go back to Creamery Road. We're going to vote on adopting an order of layout for a portion of Creamery Road. The bridge on Creamery Road is due to be rebuilt, and there are bits and pieces of rights of way, etc. So
I would make a motion to adopt the order of layout of a portion of Creamery Road as written.
Second that.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Excuse me?
Could I make a comment on that?
Sure.
Thanks. So, my nephew is big in collecting artifacts, like Native American artifacts. And I told him I fished downstream of Creamery Road Bridge. And he told me that natural structure there, he believes is an old weir for gathering fish from, his historical research. And I think that's wonderful if it's true.
They're all along Ware River.
Whatever this project scope is, if it could be sensitive to that, if it doesn't reach too far, or could work with some information around that, that would be great.
Can we go down there and look at that? Do you know where it is?
I do, yeah.
Well, let's take a walk.
Yeah, sure.
All right. There's this Amy Grace Lewis as a possible appointee to the Council on Aging. Why is this possible? Is she into it?
Yeah. The Margaret Rising, she's on the Council on Aging, and so when anybody's appointed to a board, she's been going to the meetings, and anybody that's appointed to a board, you ask for the board to recommend somebody's appointment. So it's actually a letter from Margaret Rising requesting Amy Grace Lewis be appointed to the Council on Aging.
And Amy Grace Lewis is agreeable.
Yes, Amy Grace is the one who reached out originally, and I told her that she should reach out to the board. And that's the process, that the board comes to.
The council.
The council.
Right,
So the
yeah.
board comes to, the board we'll hear from the council or any of the other boards, and then you adopt, and then you will appoint them, or,
I would make a motion to appoint Amy Grace Lewis to the Council on Aging.
Second.
Do we have a term ending?
yes, term ending this June.
Okay, so term ending June 2024.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Meeting minutes approval, we can do November 29th. Yeah.
Oh,
Nope.
so it's just
You
you
were
and I.
here.
I move to approve.
I'll second that.
All in favor? How about February 22nd,
I wasn't in that one.
2024?
Move to approve.
Second it? All in favor? All right.
So just for the record, Kelly abstained from the February 22nd, and Eric abstained from the November 29th.
Yep, wasn't there yet. I mean, I was, it was somewhere. Old business. Matrix, do you have anything from
I
them?
don't, I'm gonna reach out to them tomorrow, because he's supposed to send me the information, and
You have to
it's
kinda
annoying
coax them
when I have
along.
to do that, but I have to do that, so I'll reach out to him tomorrow. It was a change of leadership over there too, so,
Yeah, you said Chris isn't
yeah,
there.
Chris isn't
anymore,
there
huh?
anymore, yeah.
So this is an improved cable coming in from Barry. So that's what we're talking about. Committee reports, any committees here want to report? Okay. Miscellaneous correspondence. Town administrator report.
Yeah, there's a few reports in your packet from the department head meeting last week, and mine is here, that the USDA project update is on here. We're waiting for the pump station delivery in April. Just with that, I will say that USDA reached out and they'd like to do a ribbon cutting for this giant project. And I thought maybe once the pump station is in, because Gilbertville and Wheelwright are gonna be a while, and then, you know, all this stuff's inside. I don't know if we wanna have this when the pump station's there, because it's gonna be over a year before that comes out. But I'm just talking with the media relations people at USDA, so, could do some sort of ribbon cutting up there at the pump station eventually.
A little goofy.
Well, you know, it was the largest loan grant ever given
Yeah, I
in the
know,
United
I know,
States.
it's a great
So it's really for USDA, so they can
It's a big deal.
show that
Yeah.
they're
It's a big
proving
deal
that
for
they-
us.
It
And
is,
it's
yes it
big for us
is.
too.
Yes it is.
So the Wheelwright is working through the submittals for the subcontractors that came in last week. Nope, sorry, I'm confusing Gilbertville and Wheelwright constantly. Their incoming submittals for what, I don't even know. We just went through the construction update, we were there last week. And everything is on schedule, and I did send you that picture of the manhole that was a change order, but it was nothing really, so they're not charging us for it. So, you know, the guys are there Monday through Thursday, they stay somewhere around here. And then they work long days, Monday through Thursday, and then they're not here on Fridays. So, you see the next week, and then the general bid, we opened
The bids are
Contractor.
in this week.
Yep, the contractor bid was last week, and then the, general bid opening will be Wednesday at 2 here. So last month I listed all the grants that we just received, and Green Community will be starting work soon. We've got all the contracts done. It's not a very long lead time for all of the equipment and things like that. So like they're putting new sashes on all of these windows and all weatherization and in the doors and insulation blown in the roof, attic, and then the heat pumps for the fire station, and it's all gonna be done with like a 2-week turnaround time. So it has to be done by May 31st, because then we can apply right away for next year, so that's good. The DLTA grants that we got, district local technical assistant grants that we got through CMRPC are, for the designing and the creation of physical and interactive maps for our ecotourism portion of that Meg is very helpful with, that we're making for the ecotourism part of the master plan that we have. And today I met with the student who's doing the kiosk for his Eagle Scout project. So I don't know how many kiosks or anything we'll get, but that's in the works. We have a complete streets policy in draft form right now to bring to you guys at the next meeting, so we can look into complete streets grants. The one that we're thinking about right now is a sidewalk or some other form of walkability access from where the new trail ends to the elementary school. So then we have, whether it's safe routes to school, but that's really what we want to get working on, kind of one of the first projects. It's complete streets is just paving and like signage and things like that. CDBG has to be submitted by March 25th. CMRPC has been meeting with Marty because they are the ones that are, the biggest project is Highland Terrace.
Yeah.
And then maybe $50,000 for designing of the Gilbert Boat Park. I'm going to be meeting with Joe from CMRPC this week he's going to go over all the numbers with me, and then I can have him for you at the next meeting. All of our electric vehicle chargers, which was a problem for a while, are now up and running. They will be 35 cents per kilowatt, but there's a process for that too. So right now they're free, but they will be charged 35 cents. Got to go through Department of Energy Resources and all kinds of things. And our special
Get your
time.
kilowatts now.
Sorry?
Get your kilowatts now.
The special town meeting is for next Thursday, March 21st at 6 p.m. here. And then just wanted to mention, now that Easter's time is here, I've noticed several places are having Easter egg hunts. I know that our Christmas on the Common, that's become Holiday on the Common, and the winery and the Hardwick Crossing, they're all having Easter egg hunts on different days and different times, so please check that out. And then the ongoing services and things that we have going continues to be just in my ongoing, nothing new down there.
Thank you. Anything from you guys?
Do you have anything else we need to sign before we?
We've signed everything?
Yeah, I don't have anything at the moment.
Move to adjourn?
We have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Definitely. I'll put it on the next agenda. So I don't forget.
It's just the starting.
I get away with doing it the way the last time for the bulletin stars have said how much you're in this process. You have numbers for all.
Okay, that'll be good. So March 25th.
That spot.
She had like these 5 needles though, when it was, I'm like, no. I realize I have one conference call probably always works at the same time, but that was more complicated than what I had to do.
Yeah, for sure.
Now we've been here, wow, when it was light out last week, we got, now it's dark again.
Build family. I don't know.
Not until about the season, because that's why I put in the spring, because they're on their nest, the females
must have crawled up
Oh
my
my
truck. I got home.
That's probably where they came from.
No,